Hello and welcome to physics. My name is Ryan Cordon and I will be your child's physics teacher this school year. A little bit about myself. These are the sports teams that I like, and this is my 6th year of teaching. Been very fortunate to have all 6 of those years in St. Charles, and I know I'm fortunate to be here in St. Charles because I'm from the area. I know how great of a place the Tri-Cities is. I'm from Geneva, lived there my whole life growing up, went to Geneva High School, and then for undergrad, I went to University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. And this past summer, I just completed my master's in science education at Montana State University. When I'm not teaching, I like playing and watching sports. When there's no global pandemic, I love traveling the world. And I enjoy being outside, hiking, all that kind of stuff. So this year, you've probably heard of Google Classroom before. You may or may not have heard of something called Schoology. They're the same type of thing where it has all of the courses information on there. Really important for physics is the daily agenda slides. Every day of physics, there's a slide that has a brief summary of what we did that day, bullet pointed, and everything's hyperlinked on there. So worksheets we do, other slideshows we look at for notes, videos we watch, it's all linked on there. And it has any current assignments that we have or upcoming things like that. There's also other helpful links, and I'll show you a couple of those links in just a second here. What we cover in physics, if you want to pause the video and read this, feel free. But a quick summary, we do 1 semester of kinetics and 1 of E&M. And so it's how the world works. And the first semester is more of things that we can actually see, like bigger objects. And then second semester, we do a lot of the things that are too small to see, like how an electrical circuit works and things like that. But most importantly, I believe that in this day and age for teaching, we can't just teach kids content. We have to equip them with the skills that they need in that workforce. So what I mean by that is if a kid leaves my class at the end of the year knowing a bunch of physics content and nothing else, I don't think that's going to be very valuable for them because we have all the physics content you could ever need on the internet. We have that in our pockets. I think the workforce needs people who are going to change the world, and people who change the world have skills and ideas that other people don't. And so we do a lot of working on problem solving, on critical thinking, working with other people, being able to collaborate, sharing out ideas that you have in front of other people, things that you really need in order to succeed. And in this way, everyone gets a benefit from taking this science class, even if you're not going to go into science and engineering. And if you do go into science and engineering, we still cover a lot of physics content. So it's not like I'm not teaching the content at all. I just like to teach it in a way that is beneficial to everybody. The expectations are pretty simple and pretty short. To put in the best effort each and every day. I only get 45 minutes with them. And I know they have a lot of other things going on in life, sports, jobs, you name it, clubs. And so I always tell them, if you can give me 45 minutes of your best effort every single day, you're not going to get too much homework in this class. If you're not able to do that, then you're probably going to get a decent amount of homework in this class. And secondly, to have an open mind and be inclusive. I think a lot of learning comes from hearing out other people, hearing other people's perspectives and mindsets. And I think you can miss a lot of opportunities if you only look at your mindset. Then finally, flexibility. Fingers crossed that we do not need as much flexibility as last year, but just in case we do need some, I would very much appreciate it. I'm going to be more than happy to be flexible with your students as long as they give prior communication to things. So shooting out emails, talking to me before class about something coming up later in the week. I'm always happy to work things out. I know things come up in life, but I think it's important for kids to practice that communication when something comes up, to not just expect that everything's going to be fine, but to make sure and communicate that out. I don't believe that learning has an end date. So quizzes were something that I did struggle with earlier in my teaching career. I struggled to find a way where kids wouldn't just get their quiz back, look at the number, and either throw it away or put it back in their folder and never look at it again. And I think that was having kids miss out on a huge opportunity to learn. I think that in order to really learn from your prior experiences, you have to reflect on it. And so the reason why I have kids do corrections is exactly that. I have them take a look for each problem they got wrong. Why were they off the mark? What is the correct answer? And then being able to explain why that's the correct answer to really make sure that you understand what happened before and why the correct answer now is correct. And so I give students full points back on quizzes if they can do this for each question. And I have these always due the following day because sometimes you move pretty quick in physics, and the quicker you do that reflection, the better off you're going to be. You're going to have a stronger then foundation to build off of as we continue moving forward through the unit. And so this can be done for every single quiz we do. And yeah, quizzes are only 5% of the grade because I believe quizzes are a check-in to see where are we at? Are we on that trajectory to be successful? And if we're off the trajectory, it's good to know now so that we can do something about it. And these quiz corrections I found really help kids do something about it instead of just looking at that quiz and putting it away. And even tests, I think that if you were not ready for that test, I don't think that has to be the end. Now, tests are weighted more heavily, 70%. So if your kid wants an opportunity to reassess, they are going to have to put in more work than just looking at the problems and seeing what happened and what was the right answer and why. So there's a video on all of the requirements in order to be eligible for reassessment. This is one of those helpful links that can be found on Schoology. And so after your student watches that, they would just need to email me and I'll let them know what learning targets they missed so they know what topics to study. Then they fill out the reassessment form and share that document with me. And so the reassessment form in a gist is a way for students to document, to show me that they put in the work, that they put in the time in their studying. And it also helps to know how they're studying, because then we can have a conversation about what things work for you, what things don't. I think everybody has different study tactics that work for them. And so sometimes it takes some trial and error of reflecting, realized, hey, I did this, it didn't work, I'm going to try something else next time. And that's that final piece, is what are you going to do day to day moving forward to make sure you don't have to do this next time. And again, I think that's a really important piece, because I think if you really want to learn from prior experience, you have to take that time to reflect on it. Otherwise, it's just going to be an experience. Once it's accepted, they make a time in a day for them to take the reassessment. All reassessments need to be taken outside of class. So that can be in a study hall, before school, or after school. And reassessments are, it's not the same test, but it's the same type of questions, different numbers, maybe a little bit different format. Extra help. I am more than happy to work with people who are willing to put in the work and do what they need to do in order to be successful. And so I am always happy to help out and spend time doing that. And so that could be during a study hall. I'm off 2nd hour, 4th hour, and 6th hour. If they don't have a study hall during that time, I'm also available before and after school each day. But I need students to reach out to me. I want students to work on their self-advocation skills, because again, I think that's another important skill to have in the workforce, to know, hey, I need to spend some time with you to hash some things out. And that's totally fine. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope this helped you get to know me a little bit and how physics is going to work this year for your child. If you have any questions about the video, or if any questions come up throughout the year, please feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to email back and forth or chat on the phone. But I will say it's much easier, if you want to talk on the phone, to send me an email to set up a time. I found just too much phone tag goes on with trying to call first. So if you could just send an email to set up a time to talk on the phone, that'd be great. Or again, we can just email back and forth, whatever your preference is. Thank you again for taking the time, and I look forward to working with your children this year.